Hi, welcome and welcome everyone. Welcome, Raminta.
Welcome, and welcome everyone who are watching and who are part of the Silent Voice.
Yes, and today's topic we are going to talk on relationship. Um, we are going to talk about relationship. What are the small things that matters in a relationship, and how those small things can be a challenge or problem, or it can blow up at some point if we don't address those small details, and how to recognize red flags, green flags during those small thing too. It's a very good insight into a relationship. I think I believe that sometimes we do not address the small things. What is your opinion, Ravinda?
I would say that from the small things, everything's starting. And if you see that there is a huge problem in the relationship when you start to deal from my personal and also from my client's experience, it will starting to grow. You are starting to keep it inside and starting to grow because those small things that you are not discussing with the partner are like coping into inside of you, and then one small trigger that you won't track at all, if you won't collect that experiences, will make you to explore and usually damage your partner.
Yeah, that is very true. Because those are the hard conversations. I think those small things are the hard conversations that we avoid. We do not talk to our partners. Yeah, from my personal experiences and from my clients' experiences, what I learned is, uh, yes, from my own relationship, I can look back and I see that there are there are small things that I was not addressing or my partner was not addressing. That becomes create a distance between in the relationship, and those small things can be anything. Uh, we'll talk about few examples. Maybe that would be helpful. Like one partner, let's say, is asking you to do certain things, and you are doing your way, and you are being told that this is not the right way. For example, in my relationship, um, let's say if I uh, cook in a cook in a style of my own, and that cooking style is not appreciated or uh, not liked by my partner, we used to have conflicts. But like, let's say, just for example, putting less salt versus putting extra salt, um, versus whether you eat mostly, let's say, fried food versus saute or boiled food. So yeah, these small things, everybody has their own preferences, and everybody has wanted to do things their way. And sometimes we always want to be right, like my way is the better way. And we try to prove that rather than talking out of, okay, everybody has their way. Can we come to a common ground of how each person can do their things their way, but with a common understanding of how that things can be done? What do you think?
I just want to agree about one thing, that we are talking about healthy relationship where
Yes.
there can be a communication where you can hear each other. Because in narcissistic relationship that we also are talking in a separate serial with Alia, there is absolutely different. That we talk about them making food. That's why I just want to be clear for the people that in narcissistic or manipulative toxic relationship, you will never have a common way. You will never have a discussion about even small things, because all the time your partner wants you to be in his way, and at the same point he will never be satisfied or happy no matter how much you are trying to do that for him. So for example, if he is asking you not to add salt in the food, you are starting not to add salt in the food, then he is starting to find some other reason that it's too hot, or it's too fat. Then you are not putting salt, you are making it not so hot for him, like cool it down, or maybe like make it not so fast, and he will never be happy. When we talk about the healthy relationship, when you are telling like, I don't need so much salt in the food, you will make a conversation about that. You are not pleasing the person, because what is happening in the toxic relationship, you are starting to pleasing and change your taste. So you are starting to eat less salty food, or you are starting to eat more salty food just to please him, rather than find an agreement. For example, maybe we will make a less salty food, and for those who wants, they can add some extra salt in the food that we made, and you won't get punishment that you are eating too much salt, no matter that this is your choice. So in a healthy relationship, you need to understand that there are two different ways. You don't need to please the person, you can express yourself and talk about this. And I think the problem is that after we are going out of the toxic relationship, we're so used, when we're getting out of the toxic relationship and getting in the healthy relationship, we're so used to please, because this is the experience of my clients, to please our partner, that we are not even expressing our needs. We don't even understand our needs. And this is where the problem comes, because from those small things, you are thinking, okay, I want to start a healthy relationship. So I want to tell my partner how I feel. Now I'm feeling fearful to express about the food, because I don't know his reaction, and I'm afraid that he might be also like a manipulative personality. And this is where the blockage comes. And from that, you are coping all of that inside of you, and then you are starting to explore on the different areas, and then those healthy relationship starts to become a toxic relationship, where you're starting to think, okay, so why my partner is so emotional, why he is reacting so much on my behavior, despite the fact that I'm thinking that I'm doing nothing, but it's because of the personality that it's usually with a personality with a low self-esteem, who is not able to express the way, not able to understand what he likes, and then not able to express his needs.
Yeah. Yeah, there are too many dynamics um, between a healthy relationship and narcissistic relationship. And when you are coming out of the narcissistic relationship, and these points are really important to understand, that don't lose your identity. Don't lose your identity, but by expressing, by talking through, you can build that healthy relationship. Otherwise, it can go into the same similar pattern by destroying the relationship by yourself. If you're not expressing yourself, and if you do not feel safe to express yourself, of course, you can understand that from the beginning of the relationship, whether you feel safe towards your partner or with your partner to express your emotions, express your feeling, express um, your what are your favorites or your preferences, right? And those things has to be discussed if it is a healthy relationship. I think recognizing those healthy, unhealthy relationship in the beginning of the relationship, during the dating time, or after 6 months or a year, slowly you'll have that understanding or knowing each other, how you feel. And that is where it comes, like how open you are to each other to have those conversations. Do you feel safe to have those conversations? Do you feel comfortable talking about those um, feelings or emotions that you are feeling. That's important.
I just want to tell one thing that is like proved that at the beginning you cannot recognize this is a toxic relationship or a healthy relationship till the first breakdown of the manipulative personality. So at the beginning, you can have a discussion, you can have an agreement, but after a while, you will see those, breakdowns of your partner who will become more and more abusive.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm always offer to my clients, especially at the beginning when I'm talking with them, when I'm starting to coach them. For me, it's also very hard to recognize because I don't know the dynamic of the relationship. So for me, it's very hard to understand, is this a healthy relationship or a toxic relationship? But the main thing why I'm always suggesting to start to talk from the small habits, from the small things to see how your partner is reacting.
Mm.
Because if you, for example, ask a small thing, like come back home at time, or let's have a dinner at this time together, or like, as you said, this food is too salty for me. And if you see that by the dynamic, this personality is starting to be abusive in
Mm.
a multiple way, like first of course verbally, then insulting, then the abuse can grow, and it can manipulate you and destroy you as a personality step by step. But if you see that it is starting to be those small details instead of open communication, of conversation, and like we are talking like it should be a very like huge conversation. But when you see that you are, for example, telling, okay, it's too salty for me, I prefer to use less salt. And if you see that person is looking for the solution, okay, so let's try to do this or that. This is a healthy reflection of your need, what you are telling, rather than if that personality would start to say, oh, it's not salty at all, or oh, it's just your problem, or even not even hear what you are saying, that this is your need. Like ignorance, it's also one of the manipulative reaction. So that's why I always start from the small things, small habits, start to act small details. For example, one of my client asked her partner to call her every day. It's like a simple conversation because he was out of the country, they cannot meet. So she asked very simple, you are traveling, I'm very interested what you are doing, how you are going through, like what you're seeing, I want to share like pictures, your pictures and like your experiences. And he didn't call her. He called her once a week instead that he's supposed to call by her ask 7 times a week. So this is also a very clear red flag that that person don't care about you. And even if he has some excuses, it's like, what is the priority in a relationship, especially in a romantic relationship, where you are standing in that person's life?
Yeah. It's about respect and prioritization, of course. I mean, in that situation, I don't know how the relationship is between those couples. Uh, but what is the men's problem or the challenges to communicate every day? If he cannot communicate every day, he should have given proper reasons for why he cannot do everyday talk. If that conversation can have happened, like if someone is saying that, okay, you have to call me every day, but other person is saying, ignoring that by not telling that, okay, maybe it's not possible to call every day, but rather agreeing to, yes, I will call, suppose. So if someone is just saying that, okay, I'll give a call every day, but not showing up for the calls, that means either he is not prioritizing the relationship or not giving importance and respect to the person.
I disagree 100%.
Okay.
First of all, if your partner, if you're asking to call every day, and if the partner is lying to you that he will call, this is a red flag. Because manipulative personalities love with words, not with actions. This is the main rule. They will promise you everything but do nothing. And you will see that time by time, every time. They will promise you the love bombing. They will promise you like everything what you will ask, but they won't do that. This is the main thing how you recognize. That's why it's very clear by very small detail, small action, if he or she is doing that or not. So if he is promising but not doing,
Yes.
of course, this is a red flag.
Yes. And if
I'm
there,
not talking about emergency, like if something will happen, but there are a very good reels, like he didn't have time to call you, and there is like in the Second World War, where people like men who were at the war, they were shooting in them directly. They were, risking their life, but they were sending and writing letters to their wives at home. So if you don't have 10 minutes in 24 hours to call when you promise that to your partner,
yeah,
it shows a lot.
yeah. No, those are the red flags in the relationship. I mean, that is what I was saying. Like, yes, that person probably doesn't give that importance to the relationship and doesn't committed. Uh, so it's a red flag. You have to recognize this early in the relationship, how important you are to the other person, and vice versa. Both
Yes.
person will feel that. And I think those are the red flags or the green flags you can see in the very beginning of the relationship. Because anyway, in the beginning of the relationship, it's all butterflies and rainbows. But
And with the
eventually,
manipulative partners is the love bombing stage where you get everything what you ask, but during the time after the first like breakdown, you will see that behaviors change. You are not to prioritize, they will have some excuses and so on and so on. In a healthy relationship, when you go through those conversations and when you repeat that, you will see if that partner is changing, if he is appreciating you as a personality in your life,
mhm,
in his life, and if he's making actions. I think this is a very clear. And going back to our topic, not going to the toxic relationship, but to the healthy relationship. What is happening if we have a healthy relationship? What we are not talking about those small details. I'm always telling that if you want to run a marathon, you need to start for 100 meters. So if you cannot talk about small things that you don't like, and if you cannot find and figure out how you will solve that problem that is bothering you, like not maybe for your partner, it's not a big deal. So what will happen if I will add more salt? But it's showing it goes much deeper because it's about disrespect. So when you learn from the beginning how to discuss and how to find agreement, and in all the couples is a different way. Like in one couples, woman will tell some like woman's talk, like to show that I don't like this or I like this. In other like couples, there will be maybe some letter or something like that, when like it can be different solutions. It not always is as and conversation that people will sit with each other. Okay, now we have to talk about the South. It's not gonna happen this way. But what I want to say, you have to express. If it's repeatable, you have to find a way for a deeper discussion, because it's not about the South, it's not about the dishes, and it's not about the socks. It's about how I see you value me in a small details.
yeah,
And it's coping inside of you, because then what is happening then? Looking at the woman behavior and how women are looking at the partner. Okay, he is going back late, despite the fact that we are planning to go somewhere. He is maybe having a conversation during our dinner because his friend is calling or something like that. He is not taking care of home, like he's doing something. What it means? It means that I'm not a priority, that he's giving efforts to someone else, not to me. It means that I need that from somewhere else.
Yeah.
So first of all, what woman will do, she will start to fight for something what has triggered her a lot, like at that moment. On other way, she will detach, like from my experience, and then she will find that somewhere else. And it can be expressed in a different way, but she will look for that because she's not feeling appreciated in the relationship. And then what is happening, like during those fights, man don't understand what is happening because I thought that I'm doing everything right. Now the small thing that it's not, it's for me, it's like small thing why she's like screaming on me. But in general, it's about the value, it's about the respect, and it's about the position in the relationship where the woman is. I don't know. I think that from my perspective, I'm not a man, but from my perspective, it's very similar with a man. If I'm not respecting, if I'm not appreciating man that he is giving something to me, how long he will give to me? He will look somewhere else to give that and be appreciated, and someone else will be happy about that.
Yeah, it's a two-way road, you know. Um, I mean, in a romantic relationship, in a committed long-term relationship, uh, those 5 rules of love that you have to follow those rules. You have to respect each other. You have to care for each other, prioritize each other. That intimacy, that respect, that caring, uh, those has to be in place. It's both ways. Nobody express what each person needs. It's unspoken, but it is there in the relationship. Sometimes it has to be have a conversations or some way has to be communicated to each other. If someone feels something that is not happening, that is in the healthy relationship. But of course, if it is an unhealthy relationship, is a toxic relationship, of course each person is going to look for someone else. Not necessarily that is going to happen within a like if it is in the beginning of the relationship, they'll break up. Of course, they will start looking for someone else. But in a long-term relationship, it is going to become a breaking the marriage and other things. Kids get involved and all things can happen. But in the beginning itself, while working on the relationship, it's uh, it's uh, it's important who you want to give prioritize to. Uh, uh, there is, of course, the relationship the priority, but again, at the same time, if you have children, then it's 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 a different thing. Prioritize shifts. Uh, but it's a balance. It's a balance. When it comes to the relationship of two couples, there is no compromise. That is the end of the deal.
Yes, I just remember that what is the main problem when one man sees that something is wrong? When he is bringing flowers at the evening by thinking that they will have sex, but like his wife is not happy and he don't understand. I think that the first red flag in the relationship when you see that your wife not want to have sex with you, because for the woman you need to be appreciated, you need to be, you need to feel that he is caring for you, and it's starting from the morning decisions, how you see that he is looking at you, like these small things makes all the picture, and how I want to be, because this is how woman creates intimacy.
Hmm.
If I feel seen and if I feel that he's caring about me, this is what creates intimacy for me. This is what creates that I want to be with that partner. I want to have children with that man. Because in a woman, it's very important to understand that that person will truly care and make actions to care about me and also about my children. It's subconsciously, because all the intimacy in woman is about, like, if that man can take care about the children and about the family. When we have intimacy, it's not about the couple, it's about a family. So when you see that that person, like that woman, don't want to have like any sexual actions with the partner, it means that she don't feel safe, and safe in the state of mind that that person is not taking care. It means that if I die, he's not taking care about my children because he cannot take care about me. And it's very, very clear, because most of the time when I see that, that in the couples, when man is starting to realize that something is bad, it's about the intimacy.
Yes. So since we are talking about intimacy, that intimacy gets created over time. From the beginning is the foundation. When you start to feel safe and create that intimacy, trust, and um, the safe space for each other. But in the long term, that intimacy goes down. Where is the gap, do you see? Like, why there is so many couples into the marriage? It's just a question came up in my mind right now. That intimacy goes down. Where is the lack of intimacy, or where is the lack after having children?
Even, children is not a problem. It's absolutely not a problem. The main thing about it, you have to understand that woman has the higher health sexual needs from their 30s. From 30s, 40s, till their menopause. Like, this is a shift that is happening, because at first man has a very high level of sexual needs, and from the 30s woman has that. So I don't agree that when children came up, there is some problem, because genetically, by hormones, women want more sex from their 30s. So it's not a thing. A thing is that in the long-term relationship, men don't care. They are focusing on the other things. To bring money at home is not the showing of love. And to buy gifts twice a year, in the Christmas and at the birthday, it's not a showing of love. As I mentioned, showing of love is small details. If you see, like, I don't imagine a woman that if you wake up in the morning, you get your tea or coffee, you get your breakfast from your husband, then he's taking care of you, he's ordering a massage for you after the work that you can relax, he's making a dinner. Like, there is no possibility that this behavior will be continuously, not just because your wife is shouting at you and not wanting to have sex, so you now is trying to do something, and you are putting everything what she likes. There is no possibility that she disagree to have sex with you. But if you in the morning wake up and go to the work without even saying good morning, or even if you have to run out, just text. Give her that, care, that showing that, like, I care about you. If you don't reach out all day by asking how she is, if you don't listen how her day was, because for a woman it's very important to talk, to speak about her experience. You don't need to interact a lot. You just need to listen. Like, these things. But what men usually, they are bored about women problems, because they don't ask a solution. They just want to speak up. And for men, it's really hard. From my experience, especially working with the men, this is the most complicated thing. Like, what I have to do, just listen. Like, it's a torture for me. Usually this is how they express. But when you push a woman back with these small details, but not taking attention to her, if she wants to speak, if she wants to share, if she wants to ask about some decision in her life, if you all the time push her away by telling, I'm busy, or I don't have time, or let's talk in the evening, you're pushing her away. How you imagine that when you came back in that 1 hour, you will make that intimacy, when all 8 or 9 hours you are pushing her away. It's not possible.
Yeah. Then it's better to have a sex toy in the house for the men, like those mannequins, or there are so many. It's
Yeah.
like, yeah, if you're not caring for, from men's point of view, of course, yeah, if let's say, I mean, it's the society is dominated by men, and most of the families, men is going out for work and bringing the food or bringing the money for paying bills or everything. Mostly that scenario where the situation is like, those are the excuses, or the situation when man is not paying attention, or not paying attention to the relationship, but paying more attention to bringing money.
I disagree about that too, because now in society it's more about 50-50. There is less women who are staying just at home and not earning any money, and most of them are manipulative, because woman also needs to express herself, and like if it's a healthy personality, she like women needs to have their expression, their impact into life. So if you see that your woman for 1 year having no job and couldn't find herself, this is a red flag for you that you need to take attention to her, because get she is dealing with something very strong with inside of her, and this is a problem. Or if you see that the woman is staying at home and not even wanting to have a job, probably this is a manipulative personality who is taking advantage from you. Because usually, in general, woman wants to care and bring something at home too.
Mm.
So I think that this is a very wrong saying that usually men are focusing on money, because it's not like that. Absolutely not. Because women's with all the women that are working, they want to express themselves, they want to find out themselves, and I'm like meeting 20 women a week. Most of the time I'm meeting 10 new personalities, new women that I never met before. I having sessions with them, so all of them are talking about the career at the same level as a relationship. They are dealing at the same level. So if you see that the woman is not expressing herself, is not not giving her like any education, any improvement in her work, she's not doing anything, just staying at home, this is a problem with her mental health, because maybe she's struggling by understanding herself, or this is a problem because she's a manipulative personality. So I think that men is just making an excuse that, oh, I'm bringing money and I'm paying bills, but seriously, you don't have a time like once in an hour to text your wife by asking, or have a 5 minutes conversation with her when she's dealing something, because yes, women are more emotional and they express by speaking. So if you are not there and she has to call her sister, she has to call her friend, she won't create that during the day with you. So she maybe forgot, but it's a very emotional situation. And yes, there can be day like more busy or more easier, but if you are not there at that moment when I feel that I have a need to have a partner, how you imagine that I will make an intimacy with you? Because I make that connection through those small conversation with someone else. So this is someone else that I will prioritize to call when I will go through some hardship in my life. And if it's even buying, potatoes, or buying, I don't know, tomatoes, which like, if it's small things that I prioritize to call not to my partner, but to my friend or family, then when something hard will happen in my life, I will do the same. And it also shows that there is a problem in a relationship, because I think that from the small details, I'm not telling to be too attached, but I'm just, everything is a habit and everything is a decision. And if something like emotional happened to me and I pick a phone and first person who I'm calling is not my partner, it shows a lot about the relationship.
Yeah. But at the same time, the partner has to be, in this case, like when you were talking about from the woman's psychology point of view, if the man is not providing that space and man is not available for to be emotionally available for the woman, then that is where the relationship is not going to work, and that is where there is no emotional intimacy, there is no emotional safe environment for the woman to express. But at the same time, from the man's point of view, my viewpoint is when man is not able to be available uh, for the emotional intimacy or being available as in emotional state, then there is nothing that men can do that in that time. So men do not express their emotions. They are they show themselves very strong, and most of the time men do not see or understand that emotional side of a woman. They always try to provide solution. Every time a woman speaks to a woman, it's uh like something that man has to provide a solution for them, and it's not necessary all the time, but man is always a solution provider, kind of. Like anytime man hears something from the woman, then he becomes like a uh, getting ready to provide a solution or something, but it is not. In reality, it's like the woman needs a ear, a soundboard. That's all the man has to be, to listen to those conversations and not to provide any solutions, but to be a good listener. But that now I understand all these details of women's psychology, men's psychology, what goes in the relationship. But most of the time, who hasn't been through these learnings or this knowledge, how do in a society, for example, someone get married and you are learning from these marriage dynamics from the environment, either from your parents or from your siblings or from your friends in society, and nobody is teaching or nobody's showing that health, how the healthy relationship. So most of the time, couples even don't know what is healthy, what is unhealthy.
First of all, I want to disagree about the man. I don't know. I'm very happy. Maybe I'm very successful. But all the partners that I have and all the men that I was talking with or having dates or meeting, they all were emotional. I think that this is some kind of, myth, that men are not emotional and they are not able to express their feelings. Because what I'm seeing, yes, sometimes you need to open a wine bottle with your partner and then he will express yourself. Yes, maybe men, they will need more time to trust you to express themselves, and it will start from the small things.
Mhm.
But in a healthy relationship, what I'm seeing, the most vulnerable men are with their partners. They show they are all, weaknesses. They are not trying to be strong at all, especially when they are in a healthy relationship. And all my clients that was in a healthy relationship or started to create a healthy relationship are sharing the same, that the personality that I'm seeing at home is absolutely different than the personality outside,
Mm.
with his friends, at his work. It's absolutely different personality, because at home, men are emotional. They are sharing their struggles, they are crying, they are talking, they are having those deep conversations, they are thinking about their shadow work, they understand where they have to deal. They are also expressing like, this is when is my down, I need some space, I'm not trying to divorce with you or something, this is just my behavior. And there are so many men that I met that I really trust in a relationship, that they first thing that they will do, they will talk with their partner about the struggles too. And I think that from the partner get that emotional support is also very important. They will never be this way with their friends. They will never be this way with anyone, even with a therapist. When I was coaching in a couple, I know that like, despite the fact that woman can open up in the therapy session or in the coaching session, like, and express all her emotion, for a man to express with me, it's much complicated than to express to their partners, no matter that I'm therapist, that I'm having one-by-one coaching session. So I don't know, maybe this is my people that I met, but I always work with both. When I work with a man, when I have a client man, I work with both because I know that they will be more open. And then when I talk with their wives, I know that they will tell me about their struggles, because even talk about their childhood traumas that they go through, it's easier to their partner that they have that strong emotional bond than with a therapist that is just professional who's working. It's a huge shift for the in a relationship when you see when the man is open up.
Yes. So yes, I agree to that. But at the same time, the woman has to provide that emotional space or emotional safety net for the men, because that is where the most challenging part is. Tell me whether you agree or not, because some men who are not finding that emotional space with their partner, they are going outside to find that space where,
The, it's the same like I talked with a with a woman experiences. If
yeah.
a man is struggling with something and he cannot talk with his partner, of course he will go somewhere else. This is the main thing. If you are not there for your partner, if you are having something more important, it's from both sides. Of course, he will go somewhere else or he will close up. What will destroy him as a personality. Meanwhile, and he's going to to the mistresses, or maybe because why men are going to the mistresses, because most of the time when you talk with the prostitute, they are telling that they are going for the emotional support, not for sex. So it means that they don't gain that in a relationship with a wife, because she's complaining, she's not understanding about her partner, like life, what is happening in there, and so on and so on. So yes, in a healthy relationship, usually men are choosing to go to and pay for the intimacy that they are not getting, because why? Because they have that emotional connection with their wife. They don't want to have a long-term relationship with someone else, but they want to express themselves. Usually, when I talk with a man, what they are expressing, that I'm thinking about cheating on my wife, and I ask what you are looking for, they are saying, I just want to talk.
Hmm.
So this is also shows up that yes, you also have to be that support. And of course, if a man cannot talk, usually what he's starting to ask more sex, because this is what creates him okay as a validated partner with the woman, that he is accepting me, but she's not, that she's accepting me, but she's not accepting me as a personality.
Hmm.
She is not accepting my emotions. She is not creating that emotional space. So for them, it's easier to go to the physical interaction rather than to the emotional interaction.
Yeah. Yeah, so that is why it's very necessary to talk about every small details, whatever that is, in a relationship, and showing that priorities. And
I just want to point out one thing.
uh-huh.
So when is a problem in a relationship?
Mm.
If woman don't have emotional support, she disagree to have sex. If man is not getting an emotional support, he starts to ask more sex.
Oh, that is interesting because in most of this relationship, that's a very good observation because man thinks having physical intimacy is going to create the emotional intimacy, but it is very short-lived
Yes,
because you are not having 24/7 sex. So it's a
yes,
very
but
short.
this is how we express the need of appreciation, of being valued. And this is how we express, because this is what also in all the discussion and all the, like when I'm talking with the clients, with the people, I hear the same. Like my partner is starting to tell me that we don't have enough sex. It's not about having enough sex from the man's side. It's about, I'm not feeling safe next to you. I want somehow to create that intimacy, to create that connection. I don't know why, because I'm afraid to express my emotions. So I'm asking, maybe we can have more sex, maybe like somehow to create that.
Yeah, creating that emotional connection, emotional intimacy. Yes, it's emotional intimacy is more needed compared to the physical intimacy. I think even before having the physical intimacy, you need to have an emotional intimacy, uh, not other way. I think emotional intimacy is going to go a long way in terms of a healthy relationship, uh, because yeah, we are going to get old, and when maybe 100 years or more, not everybody is going to have a physical intimacy, but there should be emotional intimacy so that both partners can share their emotions, share their feelings, be together, and just talk for hours. uh, I think it's it's important to create that emotional intimacy and talk small details to each other, to understand each other, dislikes, likes, and preferences, because everybody is different, everybody is unique. Uh, do you want to add anything else?
Yes, and I think that the most important is to talk about the small details, what you need, express that. Because when I started, I told that from the small details, they are coping inside of us, and then we don't understand even ourselves. So what is the ask from our partner?
Yeah.
What is the need? Because we are starting to blame him, oh, he's doing this or that, or he's not doing this or that. And it's from both sides, and from woman and from man too. But when you start to see what is the problem
Mm.
with deep inside of you, then you can express what is your real need. This is where I would say that if you see that you are running in a circle in a relationship that is going around the same small details, I don't know, about the car keys or about the dishes, and you're always complaining, and you are not finding between two of you, and you see that you are going to the edge, reach out to someone, to the specialist, to find the root. Because when you find the root, and when you understand that the ask is not about the socks, but the ask is about much deeper things that that person needs, maybe because of his childhood, maybe because of his past experience in other relationship, maybe just because of his personality for who he is, then you will know how to solve that. And then at the couple sessions, you can agree and you can find solution. Because usually what I seeing that couples with that small problems, they are starting to fight. They are too emotional, and they are not able to go and dig deeper to find the root cause of this. And when you figure out the root cause, none of the small details will destroy your life, your relationship, because you will know how to do that next time. Coaching and therapy will teach you how to find the root cause, how to speak up about that, and how to agree what is the next level. So reach out to someone and figure that out. Then you will see that healthy relationship, can be very long term with a high level of intimacy, and also like being not being but feeling that you are seen and valued, not in the 5 years but in 10, 20, 30 years of being together.
Yeah, very well said. Thank you so much. And thank you for listening to and watching. Thanks.
Thank you all.
Bye.
Bye.